teenage relationships. Now, I was scrolling through Reddit and I saw this big long post about teenage relationships and asking people's opinions on them. And I thought, hey, I'm a teenager. I'm in a relationship. I'm qualified to give advice. No. But I basically saw through it, and the question essentially was, do they mean anything? Are they worth it? How serious should you take it? And my answer to you is not that serious. Because in my experience, teenage relationships are literally just, oh, I love you, we'll be together forever, and next week they'll leave you for Derek. That's just an example. No one's ever left me for a guy named Derek. But, yeah, it's like, teenage relationships aren't to be taken with 100% seriousness. Because, I mean, even worse, I've seen people that are fucking 11 years old and dating. Now just ignore that, that's fucking exchanging cookies on the playground. But, I say right now, I'm 16, I'm technically an adult. Technically. Which terrifies the fuck out of me. And I'm in a relationship. And, although I take my relationship very seriously, and I do believe that I wholeheartedly do love the individual I'm currently dating, and I would like to think that in 10, 20 years I'll still be with them, but the chances of that are obviously quite low. Just based on the fact that it's teenage years. It's normally... I could be wrong. There could be I know there are teenage relationships where people started dating at 16 and they're still together at 60. Now, if you can do that, fucking hats off to you, mate. I'm just saying that don't be too surprised if it fails. Do not put everything you've got into it. Because even with the current relationship that I'm in, I dated this person previously, and I put everything, I put everything into it, and then we broke up for a bit, and it destroyed me. Like, even though I'm dating them again, I'm still emotionally destroyed from that, which is why I'm now very careful to put it. Just relationships in general, that doesn't apply to just teenage years, just be very careful. What's the expression? Never put all your eggs in one basket. That sounds like I'm telling you to have multiple partners. I'm not. I don't promote that. But, yeah, I would say don't put everything you've got into it. Don't be surprised if it fails for teenage years. And who knows, I might surprise myself. I might watch this video in 10 years and still be with my current partner. And if I am with my current partner in 10 years, you were wrong. But that's the way I look at it. Most likely, they'll probably... I mean, if you're dating at, like, 13 to, like, 16, that sort of area, if you're dating in there, most likely it'll be over by the age of 20. I can pretty much guarantee that. Now, I sincerely hope the relationship that I'm in does last. But the big thing with relationships, especially through teenage years, is it's sort of like, oh my god, you're so hot. Oh my god, let's date. And then once the actual relationship starts, because there's always it's like the honeymoon period when you start dating. It's like, oh, they're perfect, but then after a while you start to realise, shit, they're not that perfect. A lot of people just run out at that aspect, and for teenagers that's just so easy to do because they can just leave the relationship because it's not as serious. But because in relationships, this applies to all relationships, not just teenage years. It's you've got to love the person you're with even when you don't want to love them. That sounds weird, but stick with me. Because it's not fucking Hollywood. You're not just gonna fall in love and be intimately in love forever. You've got to fight for the love. If you genuinely care for the individual, fight for it. Because there'll be moments where you won't want to love them, you won't like them. But you've got to fight through that and still stick by. Which is a thing that a lot of people fail at. It's just the way that relationships work. It's not infinite. It's not just you have 100% love for that individual forever. No, that's never going to happen. Love will come and go. If you've been dating someone for years, then obviously the original things that you started dating for most likely will begin to fade away. But you've got to fight for the relationship. Like, people that have been together for, like, I've been, like, 60, 50 years marriage. People that have been together that long. They've clearly been through some shit in their time. And they fought through it. But for teenagers, back to the teenage relationship, it's once that part of the relationship hits, they just go, I'm out, and leave. Which is where most of the teenage relationships things fail. It's also a lot of where more mature relationships fail, because people aren't ready for that at all. I personally like to think that I am ready to go into that. I'm probably not. Because the one thing as well is right now I think I'm pretty mature. I think I'm pretty smart when it comes to like a topic that I know, obviously, like this. I think I'm, like anything I discuss on this channel, I think I'm pretty well educated on it. But the thing is, look back at yourself from 5 years from where you are now. You probably thought you were pretty stupid. So I can guarantee you, when I'm 16 right now, if you go to 25-year-old me, there's probably things that I'm saying now, not necessarily in this video, just over this channel, that I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck were you saying that for? Because that's just how it is. You always, when you look at something you did 5 years ago, you think, oh wow, you were stupid. And then 5 years from now, you'll look at yourself now and go, oh wow, I was stupid. And then 5 years again. Because it's just kind of how it goes, because you learn new things. This channel is pretty much the insight to the mind of a 16-year-old boy. So, there you go. But yeah, that's my little input, my 2 cents on relationships as a whole, basically. But yeah, just, if you're in a relationship and you want to be in that relationship and you think that's the person that cares about you no matter what, fight for it. Whether you're man, woman, 2 men, 2 chickens. What? Fight for it. That's what I can say to that. Anyway. These are 4 other videos that I've created. I highly recommend you give them a watch because they're really good. You should definitely give the videos a click. That video is a video that kind of didn't do me many favours, but you should watch it anyway.